This episode is sponsored by Podcorn. Podcorn is a marketplace connecting podcasters to an amazing podcast sponsorship opportunities. With Podcorn, podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on the platform, set their own rates, and collaborate with brands directly without any exclusivities. The marketplace mission is to give podcasters transparency, creative freedom, and full control. Click the link in the show notes to sign up at Podcorn and start browsing sponsorship opportunities today. Welcome to the Financially Free Journey podcast, and I am your host, Courtney Dyer. Welcome back, guys. This podcast aims to dispel the seemingly complex topic of personal finances, money management, debt, credit, investing, building wealth, and even retirement. And today's episode, I can't wait to dive into our topic because I know many of you are wondering, am I on the path to financial freedom? And with all of the different gurus out there and around every corner, someone is trying to tell you what you need to do with your money. There seems to be so much confusion, and there's honestly a lot of different options when it comes to building wealth and obtaining financial freedom. So today we're going to be reviewing 7 steps to building financial freedom. And as you listen, I want you to think about the steps you're already doing and what you need to do to start working on the remaining steps that are available. So without further delay, here are 7 steps that you can be doing to help you be well on your way to achieving financial freedom. Okay. Step number 1, track your net worth. And honestly, this is the most important number when it comes to your personal finances. Of course, don't get me wrong. Your income, your debt, savings rate, and investment returns are critical to your financial freedom. And all of those metrics are super important for you to understand. But let me put it this way. Your income, debt, savings, and investments are like individual ingredients for a delicious meal, but without that complete list of ingredients and the instructions on how to make the meal, you've got nothing. Your net worth is that complete list of ingredients so you can make the most delicious meal. The single most important metric that you should be tracking and know off the top of your head is your net worth. Your net worth measures how much money you're worth by subtracting your debts and liabilities from your assets and your cash. And it doesn't matter, guys, how much money you make. This is something that you need to be tracking regardless of your income. Not tracking your net worth is a huge mistake that a lot of people make, and including myself, before I realized how important tracking your net worth really is. So if you're not currently tracking this figure, your action item from today is to go out, figure out your current net worth, and continue to track it going forward. Okay, step number 2, track how you're spending your money. So understanding your net worth is critical, and it's just the starting point. But if you want to figure out how to actually move the dial in the right direction, you have to understand and track how you're currently spending your money. Yes, this means you need to analyze your spending, and yes, it does take time. This may not be the most exciting thing to do. You may not be a nerd like me and enjoy budgeting, but it does help you in the long run, and it's going to give you heartburn at first. But as you continue to track your expenses and become in tune and aware as to how your money is being spent, you're going to start to see spending patterns change, which translates to your net worth figure starting to increase. And as a true money nerd, I find tracking my expenses exciting because it proves to me that the decisions I'm making each and every day with my money is helping me achieve my long-term money goals. And if helping me achieve my goals is important, it's well worth my time. So in today's tech-savvy environment, it has never been easier to track spending. And with apps like Personal Capital, Mint, Albert, and EveryDollar, there's no excuse to not go ahead and track your spending. I personally use the zero-sum budgeting method, and so the app EveryDollar is what I personally choose to use. It directly links to my bank account, uploads the transactions immediately, and then all I have to do is drag and drop those transactions into their predetermined categories. Again, I would tell you to figure out what budgeting method works best for your finances and then use an expense tracking app that suits your needs. There is one thing for sure. There is no excuse to not track your expenses and help yourself when it comes to achieving your financial freedom. Okay, step number 3, create multiple income streams. There has never been an easier time to generate additional streams of income, or as we like to say, side hustles. In our digital world, we have endless opportunities available to help us generate income outside of our 9-to-5 jobs. There is a multitude of resources available online to help you develop a new skill that's going to help translate income as a side hustle. And if you do have that can-do attitude and persistence to make it happen, you can have an additional stream of income within a matter of days. So here are some examples of places you can go online to create a side hustle, or quite honestly, a potentially full-time income if you choose to have that happen. But let me warn you, this isn't easy by any means, but if you do put in the work, you can absolutely create a profitable side business. So here's some of those examples. You've got eBay, Amazon, Etsy, Flippa, Crowdspring, and Remote.com. If you aren't already, I strongly suggest you go and check those out and see what skills and passions you have that would translate into generating some additional income. Let's take a moment to thank this episode's sponsor, Podcorn. As you all know, not only decreasing liabilities is a passion of this show, but increasing income sources and diversifying those streams of income. A podcast is not only an amazing opportunity to help educate people on your expertise and passion, but it is also a great opportunity to generate an additional stream of income through sponsorships and advertising. Podcorn is a marketplace connecting podcasters to amazing podcast sponsorship opportunities. With Podcorn, podcasters of all sizes, no matter how big or how small the audience, can browse and choose opportunities right on the platform. They can set their own rates and collaborate with brands directly without any exclusivities. The marketplace mission is to give podcasters transparency, creative freedom, and full control to monetize when and how they want. If you have your own podcast, or if you're even just considering starting one, click on the link in my show notes to sign up at Podcorn and start browsing potential sponsorship opportunities today. Okay, step number 4, continued education and building new skills. So this ties in nicely to that last step, but continuing to build new skills is a great way to continue to build your marketability and your ability to drive additional income into your household. All of us know someone who may have personally experienced being laid off and companies closing their doors or departments being consolidated. And it's of course already scary for something like that to happen. But what if you don't have any skills outside of that immediate job duty? That would be pretty scary. So building up your marketability is a great way to have job security, but it also is a great way to negotiate higher pay and be prepared for that next level job that you are seeking after at your company. There are time-efficient and cost-effective ways to better your education and strengthen your skill set outside of traditional college. You can use sites like Skillshare.com to learn just about anything your heart desires. Okay, step number 5, pay yourself first. But I barely have enough money to pay my bills, Courtney. I need to eat. How will I keep the power on? One mindset that makes saving money a whole lot easier, guys, is to pay yourself first. I want you to think about it this way. If you don't make yourself a bill and you don't make yourself a priority to pay each and every month, then who will? This is a concept that's been around for a long time, and it was made popular in recent years by Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I find it pivotal to achieving financial freedom. This is a way of reverse engineering your budget and spending habits to fit your savings goals, not your savings goals fitting within your spending habits. Oddly enough, most of us save money at the very last, after everything's been said and done and all of our bills and spending has already happened. I would suggest starting out with a manageable amount. For example, let's say 10% of your paycheck is automatically saved into an account that you do not have easy access to. Treat yourself as if you're a bill and you cannot afford to be late on this bill. Ever. By paying yourself first, you're going to be able to accomplish a couple of different things. Of course, number one, you're going to be able to save money and increase your net worth figures each and every month. Second thing that you're going to be able to do is set yourself up for success to actually achieve the money goals that you've set forth for yourself. You would be surprised to know how much of our mindset actually has to do with the psychology and our relationship behind how we feel about money. If we create small wins for ourselves, we are creating a winning mindset, which then translates into more wins in the future. Last but not least, step number 6, be an investor, not a consumer. A majority of our society looks to spending our extra cash before we even think about investing our extra cash. With only 54% of Americans participating in the stock market, and the majority of that percentage is happening through 401k accounts, investing is an area where we can and should absolutely focus on increasing as a whole. Investing is essentially, the first and most critical step to building wealth, and often is a step that's overlooked or feels, quite frankly, intimidating to a lot of the middle class America. Instead of getting a pay raise and looking to buy something that's a liability, look to invest that pay raise into something that's going to create cash flow and additional income for you either now or down the line. So here is a great question that I want you to ask yourself before making a purchase. Is this purchase going to add value to my financial freedom? Most likely, the answer is going to be no, and hopefully this is going to make you think twice prior to making the purchase. Here are some basic ideas for you to start your investing journey in a simple and non-intimidating way. First, participate in your company's 401k plan or increase your current contribution percentage. You could open a traditional or a Roth IRA, or you could open a high-yield savings account and build up an emergency fund. Most importantly, make sure that you consult with a professional. They're going to take so much into consideration with your finances and your overall goals to help you make an informed decision. There is a multitude of investment options available out there, and you need to make a decision for what's going to fit your financial situation. And I know I said the last one was the last tip, but I want to share an additional tip that I think is critical for your success. Find a mentor. And when it comes to financial success, many people fall short because they simply don't know what they don't know. And a huge mistake that many people make when they go out and they ask for advice is they're asking advice from people who may not be financially successful. And instead, they're taking that advice and they're listening to their family and their friends instead. This step is critical and arguably one of the most important steps if you want to break that current cycle and trajectory that you're on. Find a mentor and pay attention to the decisions that they make and pay attention to everything that they do. Find someone you can personally interact with and pick their brain. Ask them what steps they took to get to where they currently are and what hard decisions did they have to make along the way. If you don't have someone you can personally ask to mentor you, you can follow popular financial bloggers, YouTubers, real estate investors. You get the point, right? Find someone in the space that you're wanting to be successful in and ask for their help. You would be surprised to find out that most people are more than willing to give you their insight and answer what questions you have. All you need to do is ask. Remember, patience is key here, people. It may be tough, but in the long run, you will be on the right track and help yourself on your financially free journey. Creating financial freedom is simple and the concepts are easy. So why do so many people fall short of this dream? Patience and consistency is what's going to get you to that end result. If your vision is strong and you don't lose sight of why you started on this path, you are going to achieve financial freedom. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. And if you're not already, guys, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Financially Free Journey and Twitter at FinanciallyJ for daily thoughts, motivation, and tips that are going to help you on your financially free journey. Until next time.